Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of Dale Center NASCAR betting here on YouTube. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. We had a great, fantastic Bristol weekend, the Bristol sweep. I don't think I've ever had a Bristol sweep with all three NASCAR National Series. Pulled it off this past weekend, and we needed it because we were in pretty much our biggest cold slump of the year. But now, over 109 units in the green for 2025. Wow, it's been a fantastic year. I'm gonna blow it all on NFL football, but shout out Jackson Hawes, got me an anytime touchdown last night, 17-1. I know that's not gonna happen again. The luck will go in football. I'm a big time loser in NFL betting, but I'm not, and we're not in NASCAR. Long-term profitability through the roof, especially in 2024 and 2025. But I don't want to jinx myself here. We're heading to New Hampshire. This has been a very tricky track. Especially now that the schedule has shifted around and it's a playoff track. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'll look later, and it's not going to be a playoff track next year. We only come here once a year. Track comps are not, I mean, you could use Phoenix and maybe a few other smaller flats, but you don't get a lot of track comps to this anymore. And not running here twice since 2016, it's a little bit different, and it's been a tough track for me to cap personally. And now you don't have Xfinity here. Now you got trucks here for the first time since 2017. So it's a doubleheader weekend for betting purposes. Qualifying, if you want to call it a triple header, you do get Cup qualifying on Saturday afternoon. And man, I went to the lab this morning. I'll go ahead and start with Cup qualifying. What you guys know, if you you keep up with me, you know it's been a disaster. And I mean, I've only bet Cup qualifying like 7-8 times this year, minus 18 units. It's been a killer. Man, I went to the lab this morning and really convinced myself, and I said this last week. Here's what we got to think about for Bristol going forward. If there's PJ1 on the track is going to slow down dramatically after like guys 7 through 15. Like, and when I say guys 7 through 15, I'm talking about like the 7th guy to go out to about the 12th to 15th guy to go out. Whatever this is with this PJ1 and this Cup car with the tire that they've been bringing last few Bristol go-arounds, the track just slows down. AJ Allmendinger was a crazy 100-1 to win the pole, maybe 150-1. I don't think that's going to happen at New Hampshire. Much different track surface behind me. I don't think they're putting anything down. I don't think they've put anything down here for a few years. So I've really convinced myself, looking at just an enormous amount of information, film. They didn't get qualifying here last year, worth noting. But I've really convinced myself that the pole is going to be won in the final 4 drivers. Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell. It actually is a feasible betting card to put around 5 units down between those 4 guys and net, worst case scenario, 2.5 if one of them hits. I've really convinced myself that somebody in that final 4 will win the pole. Am I gonna bet it? I don't know. I know how this goes. When I do this strategy and actually put my own money down, you know, Riley Herbst wins the pole 250-1, goes out like 4th. So I'm just telling you right now, in my mind, there's a 99.9% chance that the pole will be won by one of those 4 drivers that I told you. Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Christopher Bell. Am I insane? Am I an idiot? Probably. But at this point in time, I don't plan on betting. That could change because we don't get qualifying. We don't get practice until 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. The track is going to cool down towards the end of the session. You get basically an hour for practice, qualifying, re-clean the track. And I think it's going to get faster. I think it's going to get faster and faster as the session progresses. So worth noting, if you're into betting on qualifying, I'm looking over on Canby. This would be Bet Rivers, Bally, is where that's the only place I see lines. I'm sure ESPN Bet has lines, but I can't. I can get like 8 cents down there. Never even won shit on that app. Crazy. We don't speak of them because they're a bunch of fucking bums, with all due respect, over on ESPN Bet. But you know what's not a bum is a Sugarland Shine. I got to give a shout out. I'll do it on my Instagram too. They sent me a nice care package. Petty's Punch. How awesome does this look? It makes me want to bet on Eric Jones. Am I a bad person after getting this in the mail from our friends at Sugarland Shine? Fantastic moonshine products. Probably get a lot of this on the Talladega Boulevard. Gonna have that in a few weeks. Am I a bad person if I don't bet on Eric Jones now? I mean, look how awesome that looks. I'm scared to even open it. They want me to drink it. I mean, I kind of want to drink it, but I mean, they sent like mixers and everything. I should have brought the whole package over here, but my God, this looks awesome. Petty's Punch. Shout out to the king, Richard Petty, and our friends at Sugarland Shine. Now let's talk about trucks. Craftsman Truck Series. This is an interesting one because the Truck Series has not raced here since 2017. The series was way different. You don't even have, Spire didn't exist. McAnally, Hilgeman, I don't think existed. They've been around for a long time, but I don't think they were back in trucks yet. Matt Crafton was still winning races, kind of winning championships around this time. Weird that they don't have Xfinity here and they have trucks. But what I want to look at is that exact concept that half the field was like fucking 7 years old the last time the Craftsman Truck Series raced in New Hampshire. That is important to me because, you see the dominance in Corey Heim and the books continuously reflect how good he is. You don't have anything better than plus 180 outright on Corey Heim. And that's over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Lane Riggs has narrowed that gap as a co-favorite throughout 2025 with how good he's been, especially at the shorter tracks. I see plus 250. I see plus 280, plus 240. You're not getting better than 3-1. I think plus 280 on Lane Riggs. And I think this could be the track where one of those guys doesn't come out and dominate, because it is kind of an uncertain. Tricon certainly did not exist in 2017. They were David Gilliland Racing before. I'm not even sure. I think David Gilliland Racing had a truck or two. Maybe it was Tyler Ankrum back then. But the landscape of the series has shifted so much since the last time we were here. And I honestly gotta believe that you should take a shot at a Chandler Smith, who's got multiple races under his belt. He ran second here in a Colleague car in Xfinity back about 4 years ago. Ty Majeski, short track ace. I mentioned earlier, one of the better track comps for New Hampshire's probably Phoenix. Similar surface, similar banking, maybe a little bit flatter here, but probably a similar braking and maybe a similar patience in terms of getting back to the throttle in the middle late corner. So I think you got to take a shot. Chandler Smith 6-1 over on FanDuel. Ty Majeski plus 650 over on FanDuel. And let's consider the playoff situation too, especially with Chandler Smith. He's on the outside looking in by 24 points. That team's going to look at this, I'm sure, as a must win to get to the next round. Now, if they run up front and score stage points, probably in the top 3, both stages, get a top 5 at the end, and someone like Roger Carruth or Caden Honeycutt don't have a good day, don't get stage points, don't get top 10 finishes, they could probably advance that way, but that's a big time assumption. So I'm thinking Chandler Smith is a good play because FRM has been good at these shorter style racetracks. I know it's the Magic Mile, it's 1 mile racetrack, technically not a short track. Look at this behind me. Is this not a fucking short track to you? I don't understand why it wouldn't be, but it's not considered a short track because it's just over a mile. But in terms of how it races, I've always called New Hampshire a short track. That's my point here. So FRM has been fantastic at these type of racetracks over the past couple years. Chandler Smith has won this year. He's had a lot of bad luck. I think he could have had an opportunity to win both of the last two races, Darlington and Bristol. Bristol had a freak electronic issue that put him 20 laps down or whatever. I think it ended up putting him out of the race. And then Darlington was leading when he cut a tire. Hit the wall, cut a tire. So kind of self-inflicted there. They lost a bunch of laps in that one. So been a tough first round for those guys, but they've had speed. They've had speed. He's got the experience. 6-1 to me is worth a shot. And with Ty Majeski, series champ, you go to Richmond, he's got the best truck every single time. You go to Phoenix, had the best truck by a mile last year. Let's look at some of those track comps. Let's look at the fact that he's an excellent short track guy, and this is when they get hot. I think both those prices, 6-1 or better, are worth a shot. I think DraftKings is 5-1 territory for both those guys. If you have Hard Rock Bet is same exact price as FanDuel for both those guys, so just kind of giving an alternative. BetMGM's in the 5-1 area. DraftKings, like I said, in the 5-1 area. Let's do it on FanDuel. Make it simple. So that's what I've bet so far. Now let's talk about what I'm leaning towards. We talked about this in the Discord, and I'm really thinking about it. I've done this multiple times this year, but we're going to have a conversation about it. Jay Garcia, another driver on the outside looking in. He's 55-1 on FanDuel. He's still 50-1 on BetMGM. And he's been an excellent qualifier throughout 2025. 3 poles for Jake Garcia this year. Isn't that crazy? You think about that. I mean, you hear that and you're like, whoa. But if you've watched, I mean, they've had speed. And I think they only have 2 or 3 top 5s in the year, but they've had several almost top 5s. They've been close to winning races a couple of times. Have had some odd scenarios help them out, but they've been in the ballpark. And last week at Bristol, they lose power steering after having very competitive speed. I mean, they were running with the 11 in stage 1 in a long run. This team's got speed, and this driver has gotten better and better and better. But here's what I'm thinking. This was the conversation we had in the Dale Center NASCAR Discord. You can join that in a link below. Please don't be a spam bot whore or a desperate sports betting pick seller fuckhead and share your link. I rarely open up the Discord on social media. I did this past week, and we have a fuck ton of those people. We've been banning people left and right. Desperate. Anyway, Jay Garcia, 51 on BetMGM. Throughout 2025, the only book that will offer me cash outs has been BetMGM. I've never had one from DraftKings that I can remember. When I have used their app, usually I'm betting DraftKings in person, so it's different. Usually betting FanDuel in person, different. But BetMGM, I use the app because Mississippi, if you're in the casino, you can use their app. And they're the only book that I've used that has allowed cash out opportunities with line movement. And we've done this a couple times this year. We've done it with some RFK guys being undervalued on race day. There's an opportunity here where you bet Jay Garcia 50-1. He goes out, qualifies on the pole, qualifies top 3. You could get some pretty substantial line movement there. And you could, I mean, I've probably on cash outs with BetMGM with these scenarios I just talked about, I've probably cleared like 3.5 units on 2025 just from cash outs. And I've got some people in the Discord that have done the same thing. And so I brought this conversation up because typically I haven't been as public about that. But BetMGM's thresholds are just so sensitive to money being put down. I mean, it's insane. We get qualifying at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock-ish, depending on what time zone you're in. I think 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. Could be 3 o'clock Eastern on Friday afternoon. And this team's been blazing fast in qualifying. So that 50-1, I don't care if he's never won a race in 3 years of competition. The books always acknowledge a fast qualifier, someone who's got track position. So I think Jake Garcia 50-1. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. If you think he's going to go out here and qualify, and I might do this today before we hit the racetrack, I might put 0.1, 0.2 units on Jake Garcia outright over on FanDuel at 55-1. Then I might come to BetMGM and put 0.6, somewhere between 0.6 units to a full unit. Let's just say, in my case, 30 to 50 bucks on a Jake Garcia outright on BetMGM. He goes out and wins the poll, and his line comes down to 20-1, 25-1, hell, even 30-1. I'm gonna cash it out for sure. And they've always allowed cash outs after they've reloaded lines. BetMGM has been good about that. They've been garbage in a lot of areas. Their app sucks. They don't do top fives anymore for trucks. Sometimes don't even do top threes for trucks or Xfinity. It's just an opportunity to get ahead right here. Let's play the book. You're not going to be able to do this on any other sports book, I don't believe. So an option just to get ahead in one small area that I've done multiple times this year. People in the Discord have done it. People who subscribe on Dub Club have done it. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. I think he goes out 9th to last, 8th to last in the qualifying order. Qualifies top 5. Performs well in practice. You could see some movement. I mean, even if it goes to 40-1. So that's why you bet the 0.1 at the 55-1, because my spill here before I got into this potential move is that they have been fast. They have found themselves in potential winning positions. They're on the outside looking into the playoff bubble. They could point their way in, but you got to acknowledge, I mean, this is a good top 10. It could get desperate. Hey, Rocky, stop it. Hey, stop it. I'm not doing nothing. Stop chewing. Stop chewing. No. Keeps chewing on that damn bite. Not a bite. It's just like a skin tag. Cut it out. Anyway, so I think you put a sprinkle on his 55-1 on another book over on FanDuel. Then you take a shot at 50-1 on BetMGM and see if you can get a cash out. Just an early type of strategic move to make a little bit. Because I know, if he qualifies well, that line ain't going to be 50-1. And he's qualified well the majority of the season. So that's what I'm thinking there. Now let's go back to a couple guys we're looking at for bets. DraftKings, Hard Rock, 2 books that I see top 5s on. I'm sure that book that will not be named has a piece of shit. They probably have top 5s too. I got to talk about Matt Crafton. I have to talk about Matt Crafton, man. Let's just look at what he's done at Loudon. Can we do that? Can we look at what this man has done at Loudon before they stopped coming here? And you're probably like, oh, this is 8 years ago. Yes, I know. But it's worth considering that Matt Crafton was really fucking good at this track. I mean, really good before they stopped coming here. And he doesn't have a top 5 this year. You got to think in his final year. I know he's washed. He's announced he's retiring. It's over. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the right. I want to just tell you the exact statistics. Wow, he won 6 races in 2015. That's crazy. Loudon, Matt Crafton. I'm going to say this is last 7 finishes. Last 7 finishes at Loudon. P6, P3, P2, P3, P6, P4, P4. Yeah, 7. Wait, I counted 6. So P6, P3, P2, P3, P6, P4, P4. And there were some Cup guys he was racing with. I'm just saying, man. ThorSport was good here. You had Johnny Sauter in one of those trucks for a couple of those years. Ben Rhodes has some experience here. I think I saw P6 last time we came, or P7 last time we came here. I'm going to bet Matt Craftsman for a top 5. And I'm just going to think about, is he going to go his final season, the 3-time champ, without a top 5 finish? He's been close a few times this year. And I see 11-1 for top 5. Hard Rock, I see 13-1 for a top 5. I think it's worth a shot, man. I think it's worth a shot. I'm not saying he's going to go out here and win, but I think the top 5 may be worth a play. I think I'm going to play it. They've obviously, now that Ben Rhodes has shown some strong performance, they've come down on his number. I see plus 350. You could consider Jake Garcia for a top 5, plus 550. Hard Rock bet for a top 5 on Garcia has plus 650. So the board kind of sucks overall. Let's not get it twisted. We're trying to find the best bets and the best value. And I think Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski outright, maybe a Matt Craftsman sprinkle at 101, 150 to 1. Top 5, 11 to 1, 13 to 1 ish. And I got one more bet for you. And this is where I'm the most vulnerable, because I have confidence after telling you guys that Carson Quapple over Ryan Sieg was the most free money bet of the entire year at Bristol. And it was. You're welcome. Respectfully. Carson Quapple won us some money with the top 5. I mean, that was a crazy race. Crazy weekend overall, but gave me some confidence here. Let's talk about a head-to-head matchup over on Bet Rivers. This would be available at the Canby Books, Bally. I'm probably going to bet it at Bally. If I do bet it, and I really fucking want to. Ben Rhodes and Raja Karuth have a head-to-head matchup, and these guys have run next to each other all year long. You could probably find 6-7 races this year where you scroll down the standings, the finishing order, and they're right next to each other. Whether it's, you can flip them either way. But Raja Karuth is a minus 143 favorite in this spot. And they've been struggling, man. I mean, both these drivers have not had the year that they've wanted, but the difference is one win. That's gotten Raja Karuth in the playoffs. Ben Rhodes is not. But Raja Karuth, I was just shocked at the stats I was looking at. Going back to June in the Craftsman Truck Series, what is that? 8 to 10 races maybe? Raja Karuth's best finish since June is a P10 twice. So he's got 2 top 10s, everything else outside the top 10 since June, all the way to the playoffs and the last couple races in the playoffs. In that same stretch, Ben Rhodes has a runner-up, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Last 4 races at 4 different racetracks, Ben Rhodes is 4-0 head-to-head against Raja Karuth. You're plus money. Like, if this was like the matchup above, I'm looking at is Tyler Ankrum versus Corey LaJoie. They're both minus 115, right? If this was like that, I probably wouldn't think much about it. I'm like, it is a toss-up. Let's leave it like that. To me, this is a toss-up bet. More so in favor of Ben Rhodes. With the recent performance, Ben Rhodes has experience here. Raja Karuth does not. Hell, if you want to use a track comp, I gave Phoenix Raceway, maybe the best track comp. Ben Rhodes, 3-0. Head-to-head against Raja Karuth at Phoenix since 2022. Plus money. Man, I feel like it's a sin if I don't bet it, because everything is there. Everything is there for it to be a slam dunk. So naturally, just like Richmond a few weeks ago, Ben Rhodes will like blow a brake line on lap 1 coming to the green. That's what Daniel Hemrick did in my head-to-head matchup that I had with him over, I don't know who it was, Corey LaJoie. But yeah, man, Ben Rhodes, that just feels like a slam dunk. I mean, that 71 team has not been great here. Not sure if Raja's been here in an Xfinity car, hadn't been here in a truck. And I feel like if there's a weakness to Spire, it's probably this particular track type. They're fast on the intermediates. They're fast on high speed, high throttle racetracks, but some of these short tracks, they have some big time struggles. So I just am perplexed by that line. It seems fishy. but it seems like an opportunity. I'm not going to call it free money because, like I said, these guys have run around each other most of the year. Raj is in the playoffs. They could gamble on strategy. Tires aren't going to matter at all, I don't think. You're going to have really cool temperatures all weekend long, a lot of grip. These truck tires are already don't wear much at the majority of the racetracks we go to. So I think it's a track position game, going to be tough to pass. I mean, one mistake on pit road could influence this. And the 99 team has had some mistakes on pit road. 71 has as well. But if we're talking about momentum, speed, track comp, most of the data would say take Ben Rhodes because he's plus money. That's how I'm going to look at this. Maybe a 2-unit play, 2.5 unit play. Ben Rhodes plus 110. I just don't know how you look at that and don't do it. Another guy I'm interested in is Daniel Hemrick. God, he's let me down a lot this year, hadn't he? But I did have him in Martinsville where he won, and that's made up for most everything. And I think I've had a couple top fives on him as well, but he's around 20-1 outright. Another guy that's got experience here in a truck. He's got experience here in every vehicle, a Cup car, an Xfinity car, a truck. So Hemrick and a McAnally truck, they've been good on these type of racetracks. 20-1 could be worth a sprinkle as well. And I've been thinking about it, and could pull the trigger on that today before we hit practice qualifying. So Hemrick is worth it to me to at least consider, given his experience and where that team is at right now. They're the top point scorer in the playoffs outside of the two guys that have already won a race, Corey Heim, Lane Riggs. Third on the grid, Daniel Hemrick, most points scored in these first two races. So consider Hemrick as well. And that's kind of all I got for trucks. Worth noting two things. Grant Enfinger and his crew chief have broken up. Jeff Stankiewicz is gone. I don't know what happened there. Obviously, they have not won a race in 2025. They've been semi-competitive. They've lost me a fucking shit ton of money. I don't know what to think about that situation. He's got some experience here too. Good short track guy, good flat track guy. But worth noting, him and his crew chief that he's been with for a couple years now, not working together anymore. He's got a new crew chief with 6 races to go in the championship. Bizarre. Christian Eckes is in this race in a McAnally truck in the number 16. They were at Richmond a few weeks ago. Struggled. I think it was Richmond. They were not great. He's trending around 6. I mean, let's not say trending. He's all over the place. DraftKings, BetMGM both have plus 550. FanDuel has 10-1, and Canby has 12-1. He's going to be a popular bet. I'd like to wait and see because they were not good at Richmond, which is, you can consider a decent track comp here. Not as good as Phoenix in my mind, but short, flat, high braking. Yeah, you can consider Richmond a sister track in some ways. So they were not very good there. Not sure what's in store for them this weekend. So yeah, that's what I got for trucks. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. And man, that Ben Rhodes matchup, God, money. It should be money. So I guess we'll find out. Let's move on to Cup. Lines on the bottom of your screen, courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. New Hampshire has been owned by Christopher Bell over the past 6 to 8 years. He's won here like 72 times between Cup, Xfinity, and trucks. This has just been his racetrack. Martin Truex has won here a couple times last couple years as well. He's retired now. Christopher Bell is the guy at New Hampshire, and that is reflected in the lines. He's 3-1 everywhere. Plus 330, plus 350. FanDuel is 3-1 on the dot. So we've got some interesting points to go over here. The hold on the favorites is insane. I mean, we got 6 guys, 7 guys under 10-1 on multiple books. That's tough. If you subscribe on Dub Club, the Dale Club, where we're up over 109 units on the year after a Bristol sweep. Had Christopher Bell at Bristol last weekend as well. Joey Logano is going to be a popular bet, and I've already bet him. He's still 10-1 over on FanDuel. Still 10-1 over on FanDuel. I mean, that's close enough to where I got him. So I think you got to bet Logano heading into this weekend. You know, over the years, this has been a JGR or a Penske track. You had the outlier with Almirola winning here in 2021. Harvick was good here too, but outside of that Almirola win and Harvick being good here, it's been JGR and Penske for years at New Hampshire. I think Logano is a must bet. Their performance in 2025 is better than 2024 by a long shot in my mind. They're starting to click off some gritty top 5 runs, gritty top 10 runs. This is in their wheelhouse. This is where Joey Logano could God, and I fucking hate that motherfucker, with all due respect, lame Gano. But this is where they could make their mark and start their championship run. You win this race, you're on to the top 8. This is the start of the new round. They pointed their way in with a good first round finish at Bristol. This is where they could go out and win. Joey's fantastic on this particular track type. They've lacked a little bit of long run speed, maybe relative to a Denny Hamlin, to their teammate Ryan Blaney. Obviously, Christopher Bell. Hendrick's been all over the place, so you can't even, I don't even know if you can consider them right now. It's been so weird with Larson. Byron wins at Iowa. I mean, what? And then it has been a no-show at a lot of these similar racetracks throughout 2025. Chase Elliott, honestly, to me, is the sneakiest Hendrick guy out of the entire fleet. Sneakiest Chevy guy out of the fleet. They've been kind of good here relative to their teammates. Finishes may not reflect it. You had a fucking rain race here last year, but they have been competitive. That 9 team has been good at New Hampshire. So keep an eye out for Chase Elliott. I bet on him 20-1. Yep, sure did. Probably going to qualify terrible. I don't see their line unless they wreck in practice. I don't see that line getting bigger. You know, I think it could only shrink if they come out and have what a lot of people would say would be a surprising performance in qualifying. So I went ahead and took the 20-1. I really need him to win another race because I got his over 1.5 wins ticket, and we're starting to run out of time. I also have Chris Buescher's over 0.5 wins. I've accepted that's just not going to hit. But Elliott, I think it is going to hit. It may not be this weekend, but I think he's worth a shot at 20-1. And then Bubba Wallace, man. Talk about these guys that have been red hot. I know he wrecked last week at Bristol, but they were good again. I mean, him and Charles Deniek are dialed in everywhere. They have scary speed. They do. It's not up for debate. They are fast at racetracks that you would not think Bubba Wallace would be as competitive at if you look at the track history. So I think Bubba Wallace, 25-1. I see that line in BetMGM. I think that's worth a shot. Absolutely. They've just been dialed in at several different racetracks. So I think Bubba is worth a play. And you got to think about this particular tire as well. This tire was run at Martinsville, Bowman Gray, Richmond. Let me validate this from old Bobby P on Twitter. Tire was run at Bowman Gray, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, and Richmond. Well, let's think back to Richmond. Bubba Wallace may have had the car to beat at Richmond on this tire compound. So let's just keep that in the back of our mind. 25-1 is worth a shot. I think they're going to qualify close inside the top 10. They have a good draw later in the session about being a playoff driver, and they've been good in practice. They've paced pretty well early in these race weekends, and I just think it bodes well for a Bubba weekend. 25-1 outright. Let's check DraftKings. Look at top Toyota, 10-1. I mean, these are both worth a shot. I mean, Christopher Bell is going to be tough to beat. Let's not forget that. It's gonna take an issue, I think, to get Christopher Bell out of winning contention. But we've seen crazier things happen throughout the Gen 7 era, throughout 2025. So I think Bubba Wallace is a good play this weekend. Absolutely. One note to pile on here: top 10 lines have been slashed. Now that Zane Smith who I talk about. I even talked about him last week. Didn't bet it. 17-1 top 10 the entire week. He finishes fucking third. Pisses me off. I'll take my wins. It's fine, but like, what could have been if I just could get it right with him? God. Now he's 8-1 for a top 10. I think you might as well. I don't know with him because see how I am. I'm so all over the place with the driver, the 38. I'm lost. Part of me is like, wait, they'll qualify 28th. You'll probably get a better line. And then part of me is like, well, maybe they just hit their fucking stride. Maybe they just had their he just had his epiphany moment. Now he's got it figured out. Now they're going to qualify well and race well. I don't know. I'm not betting 8-1. Not going to do it. So top 10 lines have kind of been slashed on a lot of our guys. They've caught on with Legacy Motor Club. Nemechek is now 5-1. Eric Jones is, where is he? Plus 650. The top 10 lines are not what I would normally like. I'll give you one top 10 that I've been thinking about. Ryan Preece. Let's talk about Ryan Preece for a moment. This is the track that's in his wheelhouse. We saw how he ran at Iowa. We saw him get the pole at Richmond. He fell off big time there, but the shorter tracks, I mean, Preece has been good almost everywhere, but these type of tracks, these shorter tracks, they've been pretty good in that number 60 car. That team's been good. So if there is a scenario where somebody who goes out early wins a pole, because if you do look at those tracks that I named with this tire compound, it's been some weird qualifying sessions where guys that went out early qualified really well. Richmond is a good example of that with Ryan Preece. But I did think about plus 250 for a top 10 and 8-1 for a top 5. Oh, now I see 9-1. So that line has come down a little bit, or moved up, I should say. So I think Ryan Preece could be worth some bets this weekend. Maybe before qualifying, given this particular track type. They go out real early in the session, though, which kind of scares me. But I just, man, Ryan Preece has been so reliable. It seems like every time I've been on Preece for some type of top 10 or top Ford prop, he's been in the ballpark every single time. So I think Ryan Preece is a guy to look at. Maybe not as an outright. I think a playoff guy is going to win unless you get some crazy shit that happens. But for top 5 at 9-1, top 10 plus 250, I think I would not blame you if you bet those before qualifying. I really would. I would not. So keep that in mind as well for Ryan Preece. So in terms of outright, in terms of what I've already bet, 3 outrights: Chase Elliott 20-1, Bubba Wallace 25-1, Joey Logano 11-1. I think I'll have to double check, either 11-1 or 12-1. I think Logano is a must bet heading into the weekend at his particular price. What is his top 3? Plus 290 on FanDuel. Other than that, I kind of want to wait and see what we get hitting the racetrack. In my mind, Christopher Bell's going to win this race. I think Bell's going to win again. It just lines up perfectly for them, man. They get hot. Obviously, they went on their first 3 wins of the year were all lumped together. 3 different track types. I would not be surprised if they did that again. Maybe Kansas would be a little bit of a surprise. They've run well there, but not better than some of the other JGR guys. RFK, Hendrick, they've had some good moments at Kansas. Chastain won there last year. But to win Bristol and then win New Hampshire back-to-back, do not be surprised. Am I going to bet plus 330 at this particular time? No. Because qualifying has been really weird in 2025. Really weird. So, I guess my biggest takeaways here: think about Ryan Preece. Think about Bubba Wallace. Don't hesitate on betting Joey Logano. Chase Elliott, I kind of understand. I got some pushback from the Discord, like, I just don't think I can do it. They just have not had it. I get it. Their only win this year has been on a drafting track at ATL. I understand that, but I think you got to consider Bubba with how good they've been at so many different styles of racetrack. They've been good on this tire compound. and Joey Logano. Just don't even hesitate. They are better than they were in 2024. That is scary, folks. That's scary. Very scary. So consider those. And I guess now, let's make a parlay. Shout out to our friends at advance.gg. Get yourself a Dale Tanhart ice shaker. Keeps your drink cold up to 30 hours. That link is in the description below. And be sure to use promo code DALE at checkout to get 10% off on your purchase today, along with some advanced.gg product. This is the best flavor right here. Best flavor, easily. Hydration, mango dragon fruit. Put it in my water constantly, and I'm basically out of it. So we're going top off today. I shredded the lettuce, by the way. I'm sure you can tell. All right, let's make a parlay. By the way, I gave you guys a parlay last week, and it went, I think I did the round robin on another one. I think the round robin went like 3 for 7. Probably wouldn't have profited. But I did give a parlay between Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. I think it went 4 for 5. The loser leg was Josh Berry top 10. And they're doing these ghost parlays. DraftKings has this like ghost parlay feature. I don't know if that's only on football. They don't do it at the Golden Nugget, from my experience. But I guess I haven't made a parlay in a while. I don't know when they started doing this ghost thing, but I'm seeing it all over social media. If you had the ghost leg applied, that was a winner, a big winner. Josh Berry was the one that lost, and it was 4 legs. I think it was Mayer top 5, Almirola top 3. Was it Hocevar top 10, and Busher top, something like that. Anyway, I went back and looked and took a screenshot. It went 4 for 5. So I love the idea of doing the round robins, man. We've got some work to do here for New Hampshire. Let's start with trucks. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. We have Netflix racing this weekend too. Formula One. We could throw them in here. Fastest team pit stop. Why do they not have a podium? The fuck? Let's just take Piastri. Fuck it. He drives the number 81. We like the number 80. That's my betting analysis for Netflix racing. Let's go to trucks. I'm all over Chandler Smith top 3. These top 5s are just way too juiced on some of those guys. We could take a stab here. Let's go top 5 on Hemrick. I think he's going to have a good run. We got to have a long shot in here. I talked about him earlier. Ooh, Garcia or Craftsman. Let's do both of them. Fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah, like already 5 legs. All right, now we got to go to Cup. This is as degenerate as it gets, folks. Top 10. It's a good type of Nemechek track. He's good on the shorter flats. Let's go top 10 on John Hunter. We'll go top 5 on Mr. Ryan Preece. Get a good inspired run. Then we need like a lock top 5. Gotta be Logano. Oh, gotta be Logano. And then we'll come back. Bell top 3. That's a 9-legger. We should delete something. This would be too crazy. We should delete something off of here. I can't trust Matt Crafton enough. Let's go with Garcia top 5. We got to delete one more. I think we should delete one more. Fuck it, dude. Get this. This isn't real racing. Get a Netflix racing. Get out of here. All right, 7 legs. That's a round robin right there. Boom, boom. Just play the 2s and the 3s right there. Yeah, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Chandler Smith. I could see him winning, getting a top 2. Hemrick top 5, finishing 4th. Garcia's either going to be 5th or 6th. Nemechek's going to run 8th. Ryan Preece is going to run 4th. He's going to be the highest finishing non-playoff guy. Joey Logano is going to run 2nd to Christopher Bell, who's going to win. But in case he doesn't win, we're going to take the top 3 because minus 125 feels like a lock. So if you did do the round robin, oh my God, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and everything hit. 5s, 6s, it's like 190 grand, is it not? 120, 150? No, more like 160. But see, I would just do $5 on the 21 and the 35. Sorry you couldn't see that. I mean, if you hit, you just need one dog, man. If you hit one dog and then hit these favorites that you think are locks, this could be a big one. Come back to me. Come back to me when this goes 4 for 7. This is not financial advice. This is for the degenerates out there. You got to have some degenerate conversations. You got to have some degenerate conversations. That's what we do here. So, if I did have and it also gives you an idea like what I think are the closest things to locks for these races. Christopher Bell top 3 minus 125. Logano top 5 at plus money. Chandler Smith top 3. Hemrick top 5 plus 80. I'm not a big fan of that price, but Chandler Smith top 3. Chandler's let me down a lot this year, man, but they've had speed. When do they come through? When do they come through? It's got to be this weekend because it's now or never. It's now or never. What about a manufacturer parlay? We hadn't done that in a while. For New Hampshire, God, the Chevy camp is all over the place, man. Go Elliott. I'm a believer in Elliott this weekend, so let's go Elliott. Blaney was good here last year, or was he? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. He's always right there, though. Elliott, Logano, right there, 14-1, just for those two. 32-1. Elliott, Logano, Bell. Feels like the right move. Or we can get crazy with it. Let's say Christopher Bell has a problem. You know, Chase Briscoe has pissed me off a lot this year because I was betting him a lot early in the year and he was a no-show. And now he's around. He's just... I talked about teams that are hot like Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Denny before last weekend. Chase Briscoe, extremely hot. Extremely hot right now. So... I wouldn't be surprised if he was right there with Bell in qualifying and in race trim. So let's go Briscoe on the Ford side. Let's go Blaney. No. Let's stick to our guns here. It's either going to be Logano or Preece. That's it. And then Chevy. God. What a weird time. This is a Psycho one, 120-1. Briscoe, Logano, Chastain. Why not? That's what I'm thinking, folks. Now, what if you wanted to do... Let's do a favorite. There's a high likelihood that this happens. Bell and Heim both win. And then we go to Netflix Racing and go ahead and just put a stamp on it. Piastri. 36-1. $50 wins you about $1,800, $1,820-ish. I feel like the favorites parlay has a great shot of hitting this weekend. So that is where I will leave it at in our little parlay section. That's what I got, folks. Good luck. Hope we have another profitable weekend. Kind of a sketchy one. As I said to begin the program, we don't come to New Hampshire only but once a year. They're changing Xfinity and trucks around. They're changing the date around. You get different conditions. We didn't even have qualifying for this race last year. So it's a little trickier. We're not going to go heavy on anything before practice and qualifying. You'll see that. I think I am going to try the Garcia strategy to get a nice cash out opportunity. I think I'm going to bet that Ben Rhodes play 2.5 units plus 110. I think I have to. It could be free money. It has a big chance of being free money. So we're going to take that. And for Cup, probably going to stick to the guns that I've already posted over on dubclub.win. Join the Dale Club. I know it's late in the year. It's like $6 a month if you do the full year. It's $8 a month if you do the 1 month. Fuck, we got like a month and a half left in the year. Just do the 1 month, I guess, for $8.33. We're top 200 on Dub Club now. I think that's a testament to how good we've been and how inexpensive it is. And honestly, one thing I did want to talk about for all the big sports bettors on there, man, I've seen some controversy with people manipulating betting slips. Some prominent guys on Dub Club getting exposed. Man, you guys, come on in. I got nothing to hide. If you want me to post betting slips, I can post betting slips, but I'm not, my unit's $50. I'm not like, there's not a lot to brag about other than just trying to secure profitability long term, and that's what I do. So I've seen some controversy. There's no doubt there's some scummy people out there, especially in the stick and ball sports world. I mean, everybody's desperate for clout and attention, and they'll manipulate things to make it seem like they're winners. And I mean, I even started off on the program. I'm a big loser betting on football long term. Anything stick and ball sports, I suck at. I've had a good start to the NFL year, but I'm expecting that to come around. But in terms of racing, this is extremely legit, and I work very hard. I keep track of everything very meticulously. And it's been a fantastic couple years for us and with the Dale Club in 2025. So top 200 on Dub Club is cool. And I appreciate everybody who subscribes for the cheap $8 a month, $6 a month if you do the year. That link is in the description below if you want to tail for the rest of the NASCAR season. We still have 20 events left to bet on, and it could be more if we bet on qualifying. So really appreciate all the support there throughout 2025. I had to bring that up because it was just being on Dub Club. I'm very appreciative of their platform. I think it's a fantastic platform, and but I also do see like the issues. I see the scum. I do see the phonies, and I do think they exist everywhere. I do think they don't just exist on Dub Club. I think they exist in a lot of areas. So we put a guy in retirement who was tracking our bets because he thought I was a phony. So wonder what that guy's doing outside of his shift at Burger King. But no, I appreciate everybody for the support. It's been a really good year, and hopefully we can finish the year strong. I'm not slowing down by any means, and appreciate everybody who joins the Discord, and I also appreciate everybody who watches Dale Center. I know it's been off and on a few times. We've missed probably 4 or 5 weeks of Dale Center NASCAR betting programs in this long, exhausting season. I got to be better as a creator. I haven't been putting out as much content as recently. So yeah, thank you guys for the patience. And if I help you win some money, please come back, like, share, subscribe. And I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend of New Hampshire football, Netflix racing. MLB playoffs start soon. So much appreciated, guys. Be sure to check out our partners over at advanced.gg. Once again, subscribe over on Dub Club to see the specific unit allocated betting cards. Am I missing somebody here? Oh, and I might have to bet on Eric Jones. Shout out to our friends at Sugarland Shine sending us a nice little care package of Petty Punch. So appreciate everybody. You guys have a great weekend.